Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecasts, moon phase, and tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, the wind is the major thing right now. It's going to hang out like all week. But more importantly, there is some major confusion about the closure of tilefish. Let me bring it up. It is closed. They closed Friday. Okay. You cannot go, oh, FWC closed it. You don't fish for golden tilefish in 800 feet of water, even off the Tri-County area where we've got that ledge. You don't fish for them in state waters. They are in federal waters. The feds control it. NOAA says it's shut down. It's shut down. FWC has no jurisdiction past 3 miles out. So golden tilefish is unfortunately shut down till next January 1st. I'm surprised they let it go for 3 months. Last year it was like 6 weeks or something. This year they gave it, and hopefully everybody was able to get out and put one on the deck. All right, so that is it, folks. Golden tilefish done, kaput. Come May, grouper and blue line tilefish open up, and we're gonna go. We'll talk about that when the time comes, but that's what we're looking at, folks. Golden tiles is done. Okay. So yes, real quick before we get into the fish that have been caught. The wind, right? Spring's here. The prevailing winds are shifting from the northeast to the southeast, which is going to drive in all of the seaweed and all the stuff when the sargasso sea blooms, and that drives in our mahi and our tuna. Okay, so the wind is here. Yes, it's going to be around for a little bit. It will subside. Wahoo fishing is going to be great, and the dolphin and everything else. It's springtime. All right, so let's take a look, right? Let's take a look at our fishies. We'll start out with Marlo Kennedy Aleva, the shallow water queen, up in Lakeland, Florida, and she's here with a nice little snook out on the paddleboard as usual, throwing down on the skinny water stuff, and always contributing. And it looked very shallow there. She said she was in about 3 feet of water, which is hey, excellent catch. And wrangling fish on a paddleboard is its own trip. Its own feat in itself. So we have to give this lady big congrats. Always on the fish, always contributing, making it happen. Definitely showing her husband how to, get into the bite. All right, we'll look at Derek. Derek got a bucket load of pompanos. Look at that. He's going home with some dinner. I said fire up the smoker, make some dip. That's that's what I like pompano for. I'm not the kingfish dipping guy, but pompano, oof. Makes some good dip. Yes, sir. So he was on the bite of the pompano. They're swimming around, apparently. He got them. All right. So now we will head off to the reef, and we will look a little bit at our reef creatures, right? The snappers are biting. I saw a ton of mutton snappers caught from the charter boats, the drift boat out of Pompano, Starlight 101. Man, almost nothing but muttons for the last couple of days. All right, we'll hit up Captain Alex out of Marathon. Great captain. Yes, as you can see right here, proof is in the pudding, folks. Solid yellowtail haul. Customers going home happy. Captain Alex is out of Marathon. If you're in the Middle Keys and you're looking for a charter and you can't find one or figure it out, give me a holler or look up Captain Alex. And, he might be able to set you in the right direction, or you might be able to, set up a trip. Let's look at Chris Scott. Chris got some reef stuff in the bucket, too. Some yellowtail, triggerfish, good to go. Like I said, so the snapper, right, folks? The snapper is still biting. May is going to come up. That is when the spawn for the muttons will happen. And they'll be in shallow. Then you'll get all them greenbacks. But for now, we're on the tail end of the yellowtails, and they're biting good, is what it looks like to me. So, hey, spring is here to, we had the time change and all that stuff. So snappers are snappers. They're always going to bite, but that prolific winter bite where you shift from fishing pelagic to fishing the reef and all that stuff, it's going to change. We're going to go back to pelagics. All right, so let's go and look at, here we go. Michael, like I said, the muttons, right? Signs of life, he says, finally. A little short on that one, but hey, you know, unless he's got a giant hand, hey, the muttons are coming alive. You know, it's a struggle sometimes for the folks out there. Let's see if we got any other snapper on the board here. I know we got sailfish and everything else. All right, so let us go here. We'll go to Dean, right? So Dean's got himself south of Boynton, 2 blocks on the shore, 24 feet of water, nice Spanish mackerel. So that's swimming around there. Again, it's not really the migration, but fish are fish. They're always hanging around, right? We always say, hey, they're there, but they're not really in packs like when they're migrating through. But hey, he got the fish on the boat, and you know, what's he say here? He says that was on the white bucktail jig. Hey, that catches everything. When you're bombing out, go. Even if you're not bombing out, go for the white bucktail jig. Always a good time, and it'll get you some fish. Michael, thank you for your contribution, boss. All right. Okay, yeah, it's pelagics. All right, let's look at the boss himself, Mr. Jason Reese, Guggen Pro Offshore. What we got here? We got a midday last week, 320. South of Hillsboro, number 4 planer, pink and blue zoom witch, flash witch. Okay, so this is his lure. He's got a zoom witch, trailed by a flash witch, and then a pink and blue Nita strip. Perfect. And he's got a nice wahoo in his hand from all that setup. Very good. Jason, always on the fish. And yes, a huge community, help. Definitely. You know, great YouTube channel, full of knowledge, fun family guy, and out there, you know, look at this. Catches more wahoo in a year than I ever did. Awesome. Love it. All right, let's see what else here. Oh, we got Gwen. Okay, so this is a March wahoo. Look at that thing. You got 4 people holding that darn thing. That thing's got to be at least over 50, if not 60 pounds. Let's see if they say anything here. Beast of a wahoo caught on the Gin Clear during a Fishing Buddies outing, West Palm Beach Fishing Club. Captain R.J. Boyle and Nick Mate are awesome. So there you go. I mean, you know, you got a legendary captain like R.J. Boyle toting you around. This is what you get. Oh, boy. The picture and the story behind it is classically awesome. I love it. Yeah, so I will have to, you know, somehow let him know that he was mentioned here on the show. It's great. Good to hear. Awesome. Thanks, Gwen. All right, here we go. Todd Prince out of Palm Beach. Charter boat captain. Still on the sails. 6 sailfish in one day is, for your average person, 1 sailfish. They hook it up. They're ultra happy. These guys, I got to dial in, man. They put you on some fun. All right, what do we got? Chris, 23-pound kingfish sunrise. 110 feet out of Palm Beach, out the Sunrise, and well, I can see his lure and I see a goggle eye. Why does that look like the Palm Beach special from Not For Nothing to me? I could be wrong. I fish with Not For Nothing lures actually, so that's why I'm saying, nah, that redhead that's not the Palm Beach special. If you're asking me why I'm questioning that we're gonna go over here soon, folks. Probably in this coming week, what we're gonna be trailing behind the boats come springtime, planer trolling, topwater trolling. We're gonna go over a whole spread, making a few changes, and yes, everyone will be involved and be completely informed, and you're gonna see the difference when it comes to picking off fish. But back to the task at hand, we got Neil Link, captain out of Palm Beach, right? We got Todd. We got Captain Alex. We got Neil, right? PalmBeachCharters.net with the sailfish. There you go. So the sailfish were swimming around. All right. Hey, putting them on there, having some fun, keeping the customers happy. There we go. Neil Link, right? So Palm Beach, right? So you got a couple of captains at Depth Fish out of Palm Beach. We got Todd. We got Neil. Okay. There we go. Mike had a great haul last week. He had a tuna. He's got this wahoo. There was something else too. So yeah, and he had mentioned that he, you know, capitalized on the last couple of days of golden tilefish too. So they went to his tuna spot, and hey, they ended up with the hooster. Good deal. Mike, a solid fisherman up in the St. Lucie area. You can always, you know, take a look. You know, putting in the time, putting in the effort, the knowledge, the retention of what works versus what doesn't work. And this is how you come up with the production all the time. All right. Great job, Mike. Thanks. Yeah, Yasmini. Whoo! I was talking with this man, DMing about the tilefish debacle. And here he's got a nice wahoo right there. Perfect, man. Like it, the March. I always say it. That March wahoo bite, that full moon in March. That's the one I go for. I get it that it's the fall season, right? They swim through that, you know, we get the 15s, 10s, some 20s and stuff. I always think the March moon holds the best wahoo bite, the biggest one. If you're going for that Grand Slam prize. And we've seen it here, you know, with our community of people showing them off. Very good. Thanks a million for always sharing, guys. All right, and that about wraps it up, folks. So we saw, hey, listen, the dolphin are coming. The wahoo showed up in March like they were supposed to. It's spring. We are, you know, the bites turn on. We're in a little bit of a weather funk right now, but we're going to make our way through it. And then when we do, trust me, the tuna bite will be, those big jumbos, the big ladies will be here. Your dolphin, your schoolies are going to be swimming around for, you know, a couple months before they all turn into that big, and then we wait for October when they start swimming on the inside of Stream South. So we're coming up on good fishing times. Got to get past this weather. All right, so let's start talking about weather. Speaking of weather, all right. So the next 4 websites we're going to go over are all in the links to them are in the description of this video. If this is your first time joining the show, okay, they're not very complicated to use. But the one thing I have to stress is these are forecasting models. These are not the facts, if I have to say it that way. So, you know, you got to take forecasting models for what they're worth. We always got to use, you know, real-time evidence, also being your inlet cams, whatever live feed you have to let you look at the ocean. But this helps you kind of make a good judgment as to what should happen the next time you're planning a trip out. Windy is a great one. Again, you can down here, there's a color-coded chart. It tells you whatever you're looking at: wind speed, wave heights, rain accumulation. You can also point and click on a PC and it will tell you exactly that particular spot, wind, whatever. Or you can also use it on a phone. You just kind of got to scroll around to find that particular spot. So without further ado, let's get into it. Looks like right now, we've got high winds, folks. Like I said, from the east, we've got small craft warnings out there. There's nothing looking pretty. It's not even worth it. I mean, you know, even going into much detail, we can talk about the West Coast, right? All the folks, you know, even down here, you know, Everglades National Park is getting hammered right now. 10,000 Mile and Chokoloskee, yeah, that might seem like a solid idea to go out there and get lost a little bit in the wilderness while this weather, you know, is tearing up the town. But remember, back there, the wind doesn't stop just because it's out west over there. On the East Coast, we're getting hammered, folks. We got, you know, mid-teens right now. Tomorrow morning, it's the same thing. Shifts a little bit to the southeast, even into the afternoon, looking like, you know, it's going to hold steady. Friday, same thing. Actually, looks like it's picking up a little bit up into the almost 20 steady. So like we can see right now, it's not a talking point at all, folks. There's the wind is here. Like I said, I explained last week in our show, we had a low pressure frontal boundary that was pushing through. Then what we're seeing right now is high pressure that kicked its butt out of the way. Now we have all this high, and with this high pressure came all this wind. So once this system goes away, on the tail end of this system is the true beginning of what, you know, spring's here, right? But after this system works its way through, for an angler or a hunter in their mind, you go, okay, spring's here. It's time to reset. Let's regroup. Let's gather. Let's figure out what we got to do to get out there and, you know, get on the bite. Spring here, this is like the anticipation for it. Maybe, oh man, we're gonna go over it. I haven't looked. I just know that the wind is here. The fishing is good if you can get out there. It's just it's tough to even get out there on a surfboard. But yes, the good fishing is, and yeah, you know, like I said, we had a wonderful golden tilefish season. We've had good weather up until this week. We're going to get through the prevailing winds shifting, and then we'll get back on. Friday afternoon, it calms down a little bit. It's not really much of anything. Saturday, still ripping mid to high teens. Like I said, it's not even, it gets even worse as the day comes on. Now here we're talking Sergio. Let's see. You're talking Sunday, Monday, right? All right, let's see what we got here. Sunday. Air saying, let's up a little bit, let's up a little bit down into the lower double digits, but not bad. Watched my video on tilefish, tried in 300 feet. Wow, that's awesome. Hey, congrats, man. I've never found them in 300 feet. But different areas hold mud in different places. So, you know, the whole 500-foot thing for tilefish, it's the habitat. 300 feet is, if the mud's there, that's where the fish are going to be, right? So, hey, awesome. I'm glad you were able to catch it and follow some advice, and it worked out for you. I love stories like that when people tell me, yeah, I watched it and it worked out. I caught fish, man. That's my thing right there. Fort Lauderdale, awesome. Wow. I'll have to man, you got a secret and I would hold on to it. Don't tell no one where you found them in 300 feet. That's awesome. Wow. That's amazing. All right, back to the weather. Yes. I got totally distracted by the tilefish thing. I can talk about tilefish all day anyway, because there's so much to it. All right. Yes, Sunday, 13 Sunday afternoon. There we go. So we were talking, here you go. You're worried about Monday, Sunday afternoon. Looks like it's going to let up, but remember the ocean might not calm down immediately. Let's look at Monday and see what it's going to look like, because if it holds, there you go. So Monday, right? Mr. Sergio, Monday looks like your weather's going to start to be a little more tame, and you know, hopefully it will hold out throughout the week. Monday and Tuesday so Tuesday is looking like it down. So starting Sunday, to answer the question appropriately, starting Sunday afternoon, we are going to start seeing the wind speed take a dive. Come Monday, it looks like it will be holding steady in at least into the next day also, to answer that question. So looks like the weather might be, you know, favorable come next week. But right now we're in the city. Okay, so let's go on ahead and look at wave heights. Right now, they're saying 4 foot, right? But it's very close. There's no period in between it. It's 4 foot with a very short period, which makes it very brutal, choppy, rough, these small craft conditions. Okay. Tomorrow morning, it's the same thing, 4 foot. You even got, like, if you zoom out, you can see there's a ton of water on the east side of the Bahamas. That doesn't concern us. Friday morning, still 4 foot, still short period, even worse down in the Keys. Everglades is nothing. See up here. You see your West Coast all up there the shallow water fishing is going to happen. The stuff off our coast is a little more trickier here off the Tri-County area, not really so favorable, right? So Friday afternoon, we're looking at 5 foot. So the seas are 4 foot, 5 foot, 4 to 6 is what they're calling it, kind of brutal. Saturday, still 5 foot, all the way down into the Keys. It's a hot mess out there in the ocean. I wouldn't tend to, Now let's see what happens Sunday when the weather starts giving in. Okay, so come Sunday, we're starting to see a little bit of relaxation. Inshore Keys, 3 foot, which is for over the grass inside the reef to be 3 foot that's some weather out there, folks. All right, same thing. Palm Beach all the way up, and look up as we go further north up to Vero and stuff. You got large seas out there with the push of water that's coming. Sunday evening, let's see where we're at. Looks like it's even lessening a little bit down towards Miami. 3 foot, 4 foot, and the period is like 6 seconds, they're saying. So that's it. Let's see what happens on the Monday with this weather that's wanting the wind's going to die down. Yeah, so you're looking. So there you go. Come Monday, looking like it's going to really start to settle down in the Keys. They're going to get a huge break, which is lovely. Monday afternoon, looking even less. And then let's take a peek, see at Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So, yeah, starting on Monday, looks like the seas are going to be lovely. And they'll head into Tuesday and take it from there. So it looks like, we'll be able to, if you got a chance next week early to get out and fish this post-weather system feeding that should be going on, there should be a good bite. Considering taking a day off work now. Okay, enough nonsense. Let's get back to it, right? Let's look at our rain. Where's the rain? Rain and thunder. Okay. So right now, clouds off. This is tomorrow morning. So clouds and some storms in the morning offshore. Not much, even though it doesn't matter. In the afternoon, same thing, clouds and rain west coast, Okeechobee area. Looks like they're going to have some storms tomorrow afternoon. Friday, drying out. Friday afternoon, same spot, Cape Coral. I'm going to take it twice, just north of Naples in the afternoon. Going to have to build up. They're going to get a little bit frustrated with that. A little bit of wet stuff, a little bit of moisture. So when we look at windy and we got this blue shade right here, it's just moisture. That's not storms. You might get a sprinkle or two. Saturday afternoon, the same stuff. West Coast looking more like it's taking the rain. They need it though. It's dry. The Everglades is very dry. I've been out there several times over the last month and a half, and their control burns and everything going on. All right, Sunday with the slowing down of the wind, the drying out of the sky, and again in the afternoon. So here we go, folks. We're starting to turn back into that summer pattern. Here in Florida, we got 9 months of summer, so you're starting to see summer weather pattern, right? Rain showing up every afternoon on the radar. Sunday, Monday, dry in the morning, not much in the afternoon this one. So Monday, the West Coast will get a break. All right, so that one does that. Let's shift gears and go look at wind, right? WINDFINDER is the numeric version of the graphic that we just looked at. I find this one a little bit more trustworthy, a little bit better, a little more accurate. We all got our favorites. All right, so we'll look tomorrow, right? Still got our winds. Everything's jiving, right? Not very gusty, gusts here and there, but mid-teens, a little bit of upper teens. They're saying 4 foot, 4 to 5 at a 5 to 6 second period, which is, hey, that jives with what's going on. So this WINDFINDER is great, right? We got wind direction, wind speed, rain accumulation. So we got cloudy, little not too much rain, wind, wave direction, wave height, wave period, even the tides and stuff if you want that. Friday, same wind problem, very high winds into the mid to upper teens. Into Saturday, the ocean is wind directions from the east, 5 to 6 foot see 6-second period. So gnarly out there come until Sunday when everything starts slowing down, right? And then we start here. If you look down here, we start to see the lessening of the ocean. And then it looks like we're going to have a day, which will be Tuesday. They're saying the seas aren't going to be that 1 foot or so, but have to play it by ear. And then they're saying Wednesday, we're going to get another ripping weather system coming through here. The steady winds at 30 overnight, and the gusts, that's some crazy stuff. So let's see. So looks like Monday into Tuesday, if you're itching to get out there and do it, those will be your chances. All right, let's take a look at the moon, even though it really is irrelevant. Had someone asking about goggle eyes online earlier. Goggle eyes, you got to fish for when it's fairly dark. They were trying to ask, they were basically thanks a million. I appreciate it. Goggle eyes, right? This was a person who admitted they were fairly new at fishing, trying to target and just go out and get maybe a half dozen goggle eyes. Monday it is. There you go. Yeah. Hey, perfect. Glad we could make that help you make up your mind. Goggle eyes. The general consensus is look, if you're new and you're looking to fish with goggle eyes and you have no clue of how to go out and catch them, me and every other person that's been through the ropes of learning how to do it will tell you, don't do it. Go buy them. If you catch one on the reef, incidentally, cool. If you know how to go and catch them off the pier, they show up, the regular ones show up in June for a small period of time before the sun rises. You can get them bug jigging if you want to. Then the little ones show up for about a month. The real goggle eye fishing is done offshore. It's offshore at night when the moon is pretty much non-existent. And yeah, it's a harsh thing to hear being a new angler. Don't go and try to catch this specific bait. You're going to have lots of heartbreak. But if you are that person that is determined, cool. You're going to have to learn how to fish for goggle eyes. You're going to have to learn what the big sabiki rig that they bite is. You're going to have to learn how to hook multiple ones of those rigs together without getting them tangled. You're going to troll with a 1 pound weight and this, a 10 to 12 foot rod. And you're going to have 2 of them out at the same time. Yeah, goggle eye fishing gets real complicated real quick. And it's not, you'll find yourself doing nothing but that. Buy them. Anyway. Moon. We're almost at the full moon. Dang it, I didn't click. I clicked cancel instead of share. Okay. Moon phase, folks, right? We're here. We're at the full moon. On the other side of the full moon, that's Thursday, Friday, right? So Friday, 97%. We're on waning, right? So waning is when you're heading towards the dark side of the moon. Waxing is heading towards the full moon. So we just completed the wax job. Now we're going to start waning. Saturday, 97%. Sunday, 94%. Monday, 88%. Into Tuesday, 81%. So Monday, you got this. So just consider this as this weather system clears. We're going to have a bright moon, which means lots of the pelagics will be out eating all night long. So just if there's a slowed bite, that could be one of the reasons, is that, under bright moon, fish can see and the bait is sitting ducks. So that's with that. So that's our moon phase, right? And we'll wait for our next full moon phase to come by and see if the wahoo want to come out and play. All right, let's go over our tides, see if that's going to work for anything happening over the next couple of days, and let everybody get on. Yeah, there we go. Looking to get a new 7-foot medium heavy spinning rod for snook. What rod do I like that's priced within? Oh God. So if you're looking the 7-foot rods, I would like for snook. You want to like something like a 5,000 size spinning reel, like a Penn Spin Fisher 5500 or something like that. For me, what I would go with, this would be my setup. It's what I have. I'll tell you exactly what I have on both of them right now. Braid or mono, that's your choice. I'm a mono guy. I use braid for specific reasons. My rods that if you're looking for a setup like that for snook, I would go with the rod, a 7-foot Penn Battalion rod, right? And that's rated in the 12 to 20 pound class. And it has a fiber carbon wrapping on top of a hollow core, so you get great action. And then the reel, I would go with either a Penn Battle 5000 or a Penn Spin Fisher, not the live liner, 5500. Spool that with 12-pound test or 10-pound braid with, you know, a good sized leader so you don't rip it out. You got mono, 12-pound test, and a 20-pound leader, and snook it up. Hope that advice helps. That's literally exactly what I use. Those are my two setups that I use for fishing, snapper fishing, trolling for dolphin. If I'm shallow water like that, if I'm not going ultra light, yes, that's what I use. Okay, tides. We look at tides because we need the outgoing tide when we fish the inlet, especially the folks that are landlocked. They're fishing there, especially the folks that are fishing right outside the inlet, jigging, fishing for yellowtail, chumming, drifting, trolling by, looking for the wahoo bite. The outgoing tide, what you need, pushes out the sediment, bait fish come in, eat the sediment. Perfect. Yes, sir. Of course. Hey, yeah, definitely. You know, Shimano, all the manufacturers got their great stuff. Me, I'm not a rich dude, so Penn, brand new fishing reels in the sense aren't ever really budget friendly, but Penn versus let's say Shimano Saragossa and stuff like that, Daiwa Saltigas, yeah. And I'm a Penn guy myself. I mean. I like the Shimano TLDs for the big boy stuff too. Those are solid reels, but ultimately, Avid also makes great planer trolling reels. But I've fished with Penn stuff for 100 years. So since the 80s, since a long time. So it's, old dog, new trick. But I do have a couple of reels that I was impressed with manufacturers, and I tend to, take that. Anyway, outgoing tide, right? You need it if you're fishing that inlet. And on top of that, you need it at the feeding times of fish, which tend to be right around here, which is in the morning as the sun's coming up, and right around here as the sun's going down. So as you can see, this week we've got an outgoing tide that is in the middle of the day. Does no good. Fish tend to scatter and disperse over the reef and hide from predators because there's no shadows. There's nothing to do to keep them from becoming dinner. So incoming tide doesn't work for any of it. So this week, playing the tide game and trying to fish that right outside the inlet to see if it's going to work, it isn't. You'll have to roll on by and go find elsewhere to fish. All right, folks, that about does it for this one. Before we leave, I want to invite everyone, if you're on Facebook, go on ahead, check out the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report group. It's a group on Facebook. It's not my Facebook page. It's a private group right here, private group. You have to ask to join, answer a couple questions. What's your favorite fish? Are you going to abide by the rules? The rules are simple. Don't screw around. It looks like this if you're looking for it. South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. There's quite a few fishing reports in this area. Pick your poison. It looks like this if you want to join. Every Monday we put out the brag board post. If you post a fish, you're guaranteed to be showcased on the show, talk about a little bit, and if you're lucky, you become the poster child and the thumbnail for the weekly live stream. So there you have it, folks. Join some of the fun. Facebook, social media, all that stuff. We're on Instagram too. Having a little bit of fun there. There we go. Love it. Thank you. All right. We'll see you all next Wednesday. Can't do nothing about the weather. if you got that chance, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, something, get out there and show us some fish. All right. We'll see everyone next time. Till then, South Florida saltwater fishing. Going wherever the pool takes us. Oh, wait. I got to click on this. We'll do the proper outro. Bye.